Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. A very warm welcome to the evening session of today. And as we come together this evening, we remain with the theme of flow of thoughts, allowing our understanding to mature gently. Over the couple of days, we observed how thoughts move continuously and how their direction shapes our inner condition. Today, we deepen this reflection by noticing how identification with thoughts influences our inner freedom. Most disturbances does not arise from thoughts themselves, but from the subtle habit of owning them. My thought, my worry, my plan. In heartfulness, we learn that when identification loses, the flow of thoughts naturally becomes lighter and less binding. Thoughts pass through awareness much like clouds through the sky. Yet, when we identify with them, they begin to define our mood, reactions, and sense of self. This identification gives thoughts weight, and continually they continue to affect us. And heartfulness encourages us to gently notice this tendency. When identification reduces, the thoughts they lose their emotional charge. The reactions becomes more soft and inner space expands naturally. We begin to experience that thoughts can arise without becoming us. One of the unique contributions of our daily practice is shifting the reference point from the mind to the heart. And when awareness rests in the heart, thoughts are perceived from a deeper center. From this place, thoughts are seen more clearly. Emotional turbulence settles faster, and decisions arise with greater balance. The flow of thoughts does not need to stop, it simply no longer dominates awareness. Impressions are what cause repeated identification with certain thoughts, and cleaning works directly at this level, dissolving the residues that keep pulling attention into familiar mental loops. As the impression reduces, the old patterns lose their grip, thoughts pass more freely, the heart feels unburdened. And this inner lightness is a sign that the flow of thoughts is being purified and not suppressed. Daji often shares that when we stop clinging to the thoughts, the heart begins to speak more clearly. The flow of thoughts then serves life rather than controlling it. In such a state, thinking becomes purposeful, inner calm remains during activity, and clarity replaces confusion. This is not withdrawal from life, but engagement from a more centered place. Dear sisters and brothers, if someone you know feels affected by the repeated thinking or overly defined with the mental patterns, this theme of the week may gently support them. Introducing them to heartfulness masterclasses or to the BHED sessions can offer a practical way to experience inner freedom firsthand. Sharing this awareness is quite and compassionate offering. You'll find the additional reading material and videos of Revered Daji on this theme, which are available on the Heartfulness app under the Sunday tab dated 14th December. You can make use of this additional reading material available to deepen your understanding of this theme. And we will continue our reading from the Heartfulness Way book 2. We had completed reading till page number 59 yesterday, so we'll resume from page number 60 today. And the text is not going to be displayed, so you can read from your copy or simply listen. Daji, people complain about having so many thoughts during meditation, even with transmission. Do you imagine that the mind will be still and peaceful from the very first day? That would be unnatural. There is no need to stop the mind's normal functions of thinking and feeling. In fact, you will learn a lot about yourself by observing the inner workings of your mind. Rather, you are shaping its activities step by step. to bring it to a regulated and disciplined state. If thoughts evaporated at the very beginning, you wouldn't need to meditate. Meditation is how you achieve that state. You simply need to be first mindful and then unmindful of the thoughts and feelings that come during meditation. Concentration will come naturally in due course. Daji, why is it that unwanted thoughts seem to grow stronger when we fight them? Energy flows where attention goes. So the fuel for thoughts is attention. I repeat, energy flows where attention goes. So the fuel for thoughts is attention. When you remain unmindful of thoughts, you cut off their energy supply. As a result, they lose their intensity and cease to trouble you. They become like barking dogs running after a car. The driver carries on without asking any notice of them. Whether you are attentive to thoughts or you repress them, concentration is there, which focuses power. As a result, those thoughts become stronger. You can say that focus is applying force to consciousness, and the stronger the force, the more violent it is. The nature of consciousness is to expand without limitation, but you're forcing it to comply, and such force will initiate a reaction. And there will be certain thoughts and emotions that will not go away because they require your attention. They will keep coming back until you address the lesson they are teaching you, the need for change. When that happens, don't immediately push them away. Instead, explore the changes you need to make and they will eventually disappear. Daji, can we come back to the flood of thoughts and information coming from the environment? You often call it thought pollution, the sum of all thoughts and emotions in the atmosphere around us. Are we truly able to manage how it affects us? Yes and no, depending on our level of awareness and inner connection. Swami Vivekananda once said, character is the sum total of one's thoughts, which depend partly upon one's training and partly upon the surroundings in which one moves. We can mindfully redirect our thoughts when we notice a disturbance. But what about those things we don't notice? There are many things in our surroundings that affect us subconsciously. We are simply not aware. So, our level of awareness matters, and the more we practice, the more our awareness expands. There is one attribute, however, that surpasses all this mental activity, and it is a golden antidote to all samskara formation. It literally protects us from thought pollution and the formation of impressions. It is something we will explore later in these conversations, and it is called constant remembrance. The call of spirituality is change. I must transform myself from whatever I am today to what I ought to be. What is that is preventing me? The heaviness created by my samskars, my impression. How does transmission help us to be free of the shackles of those impressions that we have been carrying from one life to another life? They are not something with physical attributes that can be removed. They are like wrinkles in clothes that have been smoothened by ironing. The samskars that create ripples in the mind have to be removed, and somehow transmission irons them out. We could describe the process as magical because it is something that cannot be expressed in words. Transmission goes to the very root of the samskar and removes it. At times, it allows it to dissolve or evaporate so as to bring the vibrations of impressions to zero. Dear sisters and brothers, with this we have completed the chapter reading. Let us now turn inward to offer the universal prayer together. All brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। May identification with thoughts dissolve into clarity, and may the heart remain free, receptive, and aligned. Dear sisters and brothers, as you prepare for the rest tonight, take a few moments to offer the bedtime prayer and the reflections for the day. Let the bedtime prayer help you release what no longer needs to be carried. Dear sisters and brothers, thank you for joining today's evening session. And as we continue this week with the theme of flow of thoughts, may identification with the thoughts soften and may our awareness deepens and may the heart rest more freely in its natural state. We look forward to your presence for the morning session tomorrow which is going to be at 6 a.m. And until then, wishing you all a very good rest and a good night. Thank you.